your New England sports news for April 16th, 2012. Today's Patriots Day like clockwork. Boston commemorated the event with an early morning Red Sox game, the Boston Marathon, and the Bruins, who just took on the Capitals in Washington tonight. And after owning their first 3 games at home, and by owning I mean scoring 31 runs in 3 days, the Red Sox were unable to sweep the Tampa Bay Rays in their first series at home. This morning, the Rays beat the Red Sox 1-0, but the Sox will have another chance to defend their Fenway turf this week when they take on the Rangers in a series starting tomorrow. While most of the controversy from last season has fallen by the wayside, the Red Sox, along with skipper Bobby Valentine, are stirring up drama already. And after the Sox 6-5 win yesterday on Jackie Robinson Day, Rays manager Joe Maddon hinted at something that could cause quite a lot of drama. Maddon told the media that it seemed like the Sox knew what was coming on every pitch that was thrown to them, and without directly saying so, it kind of sounds like he thinks the Red Sox are stealing signs. While the MLB doesn't have an official rule about sign stealing, if other teams accuse the Sox of doing so, the Sox could receive a warning from the MLB commissioners, as the Philadelphia Phillies did back in 2010. And I hate to even ask the question, but is Curt Schilling right? A few weeks ago I reported that former Sox pitcher and current ESPN analyst called into the big show on WEEI, the Red Sox radio network, and said that the clubhouse wasn't exactly getting along with Bobby Valentine's methods of management. Seemingly trying to motivate Uke, Valentine told WHDH's Sports Extra that Kevin Youkilis didn't seem emotionally or physically committed to the game as he has been in the past. Immediately following those comments, first baseman Dustin Pedroia jumped in to defend his teammate, telling Valentine that's not how they do things in the Sox clubhouse. Valentine has since apologized to both Uke and Pedroia, and while Pedroia says it's all in the past, Valentine doesn't know if he's completely smoothed things over with Uke just yet. And the Bruins and the Caps are no longer tied up 1-1 a game apiece, because the Bruins just beat the Caps in Washington 4-3. Thankfully, this game didn't have to go into overtime tonight, but the Bruins fans in Boston were certainly getting their money the last 2 games, which ended in overtime the first night and double overtime the second night. The next game is on Wednesday in Washington. And Caps fans were attempting to get into Tim Thomas's head tonight, but they were unsuccessful. Earlier today, a fan blog called The Russian Machine Never Breaks came up with the idea for Caps fans to taunt Thomas tonight with Obama masks. Thomas made news earlier this year when he opted out of a team trip to the White House to meet the president, who wanted to honor the Bees for winning the Stanley Cup. The Russian Machine Never Breaks wasn't the only blog to put up posters and masks for Caps fans, so we saw quite a few of those around Verizon Center tonight. And earlier today at the Sox game, some real former Patriots were given the honor of throwing out the first pitch. Gino Cappelletti of the Boston Patriots had the honor, along with his former teammates running back Larry Garenwide, receiver Art Graham, and tackle Milt Graham standing alongside him. Cappelletti is a 5-time Pro Bowler and was named MVP of the AFL back in 1964. The New England Patriots were formerly the Boston Patriots from 1960 to 1970 and were part of the AFL, the American Football League, which is of course now defunct. And speaking of former Patriots, Teddy Bruschi, who retired from the Pats just a few years ago after suffering a stroke, ran in the Boston Marathon today. He finished just 1 second behind his wife Heidi, clocking in at 5 hours, 26 minutes, and 12 seconds. Finally, the NFL Draft is coming just a week from Thursday, and while the Patriots haven't discussed their strategy, fans and sports writers, including myself, have been pretty outspoken about how important stacking up the Pats' defense is if they want to take a trip to the Super Bowl this upcoming season. While the Pats haven't made any defensive moves this offseason, they did reach agreements in their offense last week with center Dan Koppen, who will be returning to the Pats for his 10th season, as well as with kicker Chris Kaplan. Once again, Rob Gronkowski making headlines as he participated in a rather risque Q&A at the University of Rhode Island after agreeing to take part in a game of Marry, F, or Kill. If you don't know what that is, I'll let you Google it. With his options as Tim Tebow, Rex Ryan, and Betty White, Gronk said he'd take Tebow's virginity. And I can only imagine what the rest of that session was like afterwards, because that's where the video gets cut off. While they're down some of their most important players, including Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, and Paul Pierce, the Celtics are pushing full steam ahead. Leading the Celtics to their 94-82 victory over the Charlotte Bobcats were Brandon Bass and Avery Bradley, who had 22 points apiece last night, and Rajon Rondo, who put up another 20 of those points and had 16 assists in the game. The Celtics will take on the New York Knicks tomorrow night at Madison Square Garden at 8 p.m. And that's all for your New England sports news for tonight. I hope you enjoyed watching. From New York City, I'm Erica Lee. Have a great night.